motivation, some meditation, some inspiration. Temperatures out here are pretty low. Just a wonderful experience I just had with some meditation. I just wanted to start sharing it with you guys. As my body starts to warm back up, I want you to remember that when you face off against the things that are going on inside of you, when you truly start to get down with yourself, you start to ask yourself those questions. You start to face the real things that are going on. You start to look inside of yourself. You're going to find that the things like emotions are going to start to show up. You know, the ability for you to get inside of yourself is going to be there. The challenges that you face off against remind you that you're greater inside, that you have what it takes, that, you know, the things that you go through daily are there for you to teach you. And one of those things is to remember that what you have inside is greater than what's going on around you. And so even when temperatures are dropping, if you are stronger inside, if your mentality is there, if your ability is there, then you can make it through it. And I look at it like the emotions, and towards the ends I started crying. I started getting down and started to feel the emotions, started to feel, you know, the ability that inside we are greater than we are on the outside, that the battle that we're truly fighting is what's going on inside. You know, a lot of people, they talk about it being inside your mind, and it really is. It really comes from that ability to remember that, you know, you're going to face off against challenges. You're going to face off against things that nobody else wants to. You're going to have emotion. You're going to have pain. You're going to have things that are there to, and they're meant to teach you. They're meant to help you to become stronger. They're meant to help you to endure. They're there for you. And it's that kind of reminder that gives me a reason to push forward every day. You know, as I was helping a friend out who had cancer, as she was sitting there in pain, she was becoming the teacher of her story. She was becoming the teacher of her journey. And I remember sitting there and not being able to understand this, to understand the pain that was going on inside, the things that nobody else could. And you know, we're not meant for somebody else to feel it for you. You're meant to feel your own emotions. You're meant to go through your own challenges. You're meant to have things and face off against things that others can't. And as I was sitting there and I started to do my vocal meditation and I started to get into the ability, I started to sing, I started to cry, and I started to feel the emotion, feel the mentality, feel the freezing, feel the things that were not as great as what's going on inside, not as great as what we have inside of ourselves. And you know, the universe, it's going to test you. It's going to ask you that kind of question if you have what it takes, if you can continue to stay positive. It's going to ask you if the freezing cold is greater than you, or if you're greater than it. And so I was reminded that emotions exist. I was reminded that challenges can become overcome. I was reminded that what we face off against daily is our mentality. It's our ability to continue when others wouldn't. And so as I started my meditation, I had on a jacket, I had on this clothes, but I took it off. I took this off because I had to remember that you are sufficient, that you are able to overcome your challenges, that who you are inside is a reflection of, the body is just a reflection of the mind. When you allow yourself pain, you allow yourself challenges, you allow yourself things that nobody else thought were possible, that is when you grow. And you can't have that growth unless you allow yourself that process. And that is where the emotion came out. That is where the teacher came out. That is where the student was in place with the teacher. And so we have to give ourselves that kind of permission to have those kind of challenges for ourselves. Because if you don't have them, if you don't give yourself that, if you don't give yourself that kind of time, if you don't get down with the person that you are inside, then nobody else will do it for you. Nobody else will sit in the cold for you. Nobody else will go through the things for you. Nobody else will open your heart for you. Nobody else will open your emotions for you. It's inside of you. It's inside of your ability to face off against them. And so I remember being there. I remember being going and seeing challenges and seeing other people with challenges and being reminded that we each have our own challenges, that we each have our own reflection. We each have our own level of understanding. And I remember it being in the heat and remembering that what mattered the most was what was going on inside. That what we have going on inside is greater than the heat or the cold. That our mentality, our ability to get there with ourselves is what it's about. It's about you. It's about your story. It's about your journey. It's about your path. And it's about asking yourself those types of questions. Are you able to sit down and to become that student in your story? Are you able to give yourself that kind of time? Are you able to give yourself that kind of place where you're able to face off against those difficulties? You know, what is it worth? What is this journey worth if we cannot have challenges, if we cannot feel pain, if we cannot have the ability to focus past the pain, to get to the place where our mentalities are positive, where our mentalities give us the ability to overcome our challenges? And that's where I'm reminded. I'm reminded when I'm looking back and I'm 30, 40, 50 minutes into a meditation session and the tears start flowing down the face, and the ability for you to see that you can do it, that you can achieve it, that you are almost there. You are always on that page of your life. You are always on that day. Look at that night when you fall asleep, where you are sleeping, where you are. Look at how you have things that are blessings around you, how you can allow the things that are not meant for you to move out of the way, how the things that can move in your direction and are moving in your direction are positive. This universe has universal forces. It has positive things. It has cold. It has heat. It has things that ask you the question, can you handle the heat? Can you handle the cold? Can you handle yourself? And that's where we're reminded we are alive, that we are a being in this universe, that we are connected to this universe, that even though this universe is greater than ourselves, it's our own individual experience, it's our own individual paths, it's our own individual journey that we have to get down with. We have to connect with that person inside. We have to be what we are. We have to be that being inside of ourselves. And a lot of times we forget this. We forget this great creation. We forget that we are a blessing on our journey, and that you will have challenges, and that you will have things, if you can handle the cold, if you can handle the heat. And so each day, I'm blessed to have that. Each day, those temperatures are there. Each day, the reminder is inside of you. It's inside of your ability. It's inside of your being. It's inside of your mentality. It's inside of your understanding that you will have challenges. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it when you look back an hour later and you sat outside in freezing cold temperatures with no shirt on, that you made it. You know, when it's 150 degrees and you are still grinding. When it's 190 degrees and you are still grinding. And so how do we sit down with ourselves? Can we read stuff? Can we put things in front of ourselves and say, hey, I'm going to do this every day, and can we do it? Even when it's difficult. You know, like I think about the process of going through challenges, the things that, you know, only you can, you know, only you are going to have your emotions. Only you are going to have your challenges. Nobody else can have them for you. And so they're worth it. Your life is worth it. Your path is worth it. And so heat up this universe with you. You become that energy required. You become that being inside. You become that light who heats up. You become that heater in this universe when it's cold. And you become that air conditioning when it's hot. You cool yourself down. You warm yourself up. You see that light inside of you. You see that radiating being inside of you. You recognize that you can do it, that you can achieve it, that it truly is possible. But it's going to take you. It's going to take you facing off against it. It's going to take you seeing that you can do it. It's going to take you putting yourself in a place where you believe in you. Even when other people don't believe in you. You got to believe in yourself. You got to know inside of yourself that you have what it takes to be on your journey. You have what it takes to be on your path. You have what it takes to go through those types of things that nobody else can for you. And so, as I was there, I was reminded that the emotion, the mentality, the ability to be oneself is what's most important. That the temperature, it's going to be there no matter what. It's what's going on inside that's going to heat you up. It's what's going on inside that's going to warm you up. It's what's going on inside that's going to give you the ability to be there with yourself. And I remembered the wind breathing on me. And I remembered the times when I was in temperatures that were so hot that the other people would just pass out. And I remembered continuing, because when you believe in yourself, you can make things possible that nobody else could do for you. When you believe in yourself, when you know you, when you give yourself permission for that beauty to shine, when you give yourself permission for that connection with you to be there, when you give yourself that time to go through those types of things, they are blessings. And inside of that place, inside of that cold, I found that place where warmth comes from within, where warmth comes from the challenges, where warmth comes from the reflection, where warmth comes from the understanding. And we are such blessings in this universe. You are such a blessing. You have to give yourself permission to be it. You have to see the positivity that you already are. You have to see the positivity that you are being one with this universe, that the Most High God can work through you, that you can have a foundation of focus in such a way that you manifest it. And I was there. I was in that place. I was in that time, and I sat down and I remembered that, no, take that jacket off. No, take that shirt off. Sit down, work your way through it. This challenges these things. And a lot of times we have challenges in front of ourselves, but we don't want to take away the security blankets. We don't want to truly get down with our challenges. We don't truly want to get down with ourselves. We don't want to truly focus to that point where we have the ability to go beyond that. We don't want to become the students in our lives. We don't want to recognize that you will have things that you're going to have to work through, that they're not going to be easy, that they're going to take your energy, they're going to take your level of focus, they're going to test you, they're going to see if you can handle the cold at that level. And it's up for you to connect yourself together to believe that you are the heater, that you are the connection, that you have the light, that you have the energy inside to create your world. And it's going to be inside of your world that the universe is going to expand. It's going to be inside of your world that the tool that you are is going to work. It's going to be inside of your world where your mentality is going to radiate. It's going to be inside of your world where your thought process is going to be a reflection. It's going to be inside of your world where the blessing of you is going to start to radiate outwards. It's going to be up to you to focus to that point. It's going to be up to you to get there for yourself, because nobody else will do it for you. Nobody else can achieve it for you. Nobody else can do it for you. They might be able to feel something you might be feeling, but they cannot and will never be able to be you. You will always be yourself. You will always, have your thoughts. Your path. You always have your journey. You have started your journey when you were born. You have started your path with your breath. You have started your connection inside of yourself. But you have not reached that place where you focus unless you ask yourself the question, can I be myself? Can I go through this kind of challenges? And there are times that I am reminded this. Other people remind me to focus there for myself, focus there in my own path, focus there in my own purpose. And so the different parts of who we are matter. The different parts of who you are matter to you. They matter to who you are inside. They matter to who you are in this universe. They matter to who you are within your being. And your level of focus is important. Your level of being is important. Your level of purpose is important in this universe. And you are all sons and daughters of the Most High. The Most High God cares about you. He cares about your day. He cares about your being. He cares about your light inside. When we understand this, when we understand that we are a tool in this universe, when we understand that the universe tests you on purpose, it sees if you can handle the cold. It sees if you can make it through it. If it sees that if you could show up to work today even though you're not feeling well. If you can put yourself in a place where you're positive, even when your challenges are coming and you don't think you can make it through it. When you do, when you find that place where that light radiates to that level where, the heat is not as cool as you. The cold is not as warm as you. And you are that radiating energy. You're that radiating being. You're that radiating vibration. A lot of people like to joke about good vibes, right? What about the vibe that's you? What about the positivity that is you? I would like to say positive vibes. I like to say positivity is the vibe. Positivity is the being. Positivity is the challenge. To see the positivity. Like, yes, I sat outside in the cold. I was out there. I was meditating. I was in a place. It was freezing. I took off my jacket. I said, let's do this. Let's see if this cold is as great as I am. And that positive vibe drove in a place, put in a vibration in a place where I was able to overcome the cold. And I will be doing this every day. I will be putting myself in that place where that mentality, I want to strive for you to achieve it yourself. I want you to achieve it in your everyday, your every being. And so when we focus to that point where we are greater inside than what's going on around us, what happens to the outside becomes a reflection. And so as we're able to face off against that, as we're able to achieve that, as that light inside of ourselves starts to radiate beyond where other people are willing to go, that is when you are reminded that you can do this. You can live this life. You can live yourself. You can be who you are. And that beauty inside of yourself can radiate outwards. What a blessing that is to be you. What a blessing that is to have your challenges. What a blessing that is to have your life. And so each day, remember that. When you are focused, when you see positivity, you look at that situation where you can overcome it, where what you write down, what you apply, the training that you have, the things that you go through personally,